じゃ。残火の太刀来た。天地怪人。
Alright, what is going on, guys? SpitefulHopes is back again, coming at you with the shit you summoned on this new banner that got announced. And for those that aren't paying attention or haven't opened the news, you would see that we are actually getting a Yamamoto and Yhwach banner. It's a rerun. It's not a new banner. I mean, technically it's a new banner, but it's a rerun of older characters. That better? I hope so. Alright, so let's just get right into it. As you see here, Chojiro, Izuru, Shigekuni, Genryusai, Yamamoto, as well as Yoruichi, Ichigo, Yhwach, and Kisuke. The fillers of this banner are actually going to be Weaken, a character that everyone should be familiar with. If you're not, he's a PvP based character. Flurry, Poise, Long Reach plus 20%, Weaken on everything. Very easy to get him 5 out of 5. He's literally on so many banners nowadays that you're bound to pull him at least 5. You're bound to pull 5 copies of him within the first maybe 6 months of playing this game, should you be doing 6 steps on every banner that comes out. Going into the next character, you should be able to tell with one glance that this individual is trash. I didn't think he'd be talking about himself, but he is. He's not bad. I'm just trolling, but he is a strong attack recharge minus 14% link, a Rankar killer for power, guard break, weaken defense on his ultimate. The guard break definitely helps him with his berserker 40%. No status elements, unfortunately. Going into his actual kit, 2500 length beam, 625 by 625. This is gonna be the how'd I put it? This is going to be the vacuum into explosion type ability. It's not bad, but it could be better. It does lock you into place, which is, in my opinion, that part's bad. And then a standard full screen third strong attack. The 2500 length beam with full screen third strong attack, definitely not bad, but since there's so much better out there, including characters like 5th anniversary Ichigo that people are going to be chasing for anyways, I wouldn't necessarily chase for this character. Yeah, also, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, bro, like, I really don't think that I'm the individual that's trash, just as Okiora, so I would definitely appreciate it. We're trying to hit our goal of 45 million by the end of the year. I would definitely appreciate you guys if you would join the club. Thank you. Next on the list, going into the 1000 Year Blood War round 4 banners, are characters that, honestly, I do feel some of them do need a resurrection in order to make them viable. Going into someone like Yhwach, he was once good in PvP. I do think people still use him for like weird stall comps should you have him max transcended, but you'll see here that he has debilitator plus 5 seconds, paralysis on everything. However, he has weaken on his ultimate as well as a shield on his ultimate. Now when he does his ultimate, he actually transforms into his other state, in which case he has weaken on all of his attacks. He's literally riddled with so much range collision that he's bound to proc weakening at the cost of actually dealing damage. Now going into his ultimate, however, he does have bombardment, which is really nice for a character that has weaken on their ultimate. Star barrier plus 10, which is good in PvP, not so much in PvE because it runs out within 20 seconds. Sprinter plus 1, bruiser 30%, and berserker 50%. He wasn't given flurry, he wasn't given frenzy, so that really did hold him back a lot, especially considering that since he has range collision, only being able to hit 1 time per range collision attack sucks. You'll see here this range collision, and the max hits you could possibly get is 2. That's really bad. Third strong attack, range collision as well, 900 radius. Oh, never mind, 900 radius, but this is melee collision, but this isn't even a full screen, dude. For some reason, I always remember this being a range collision attack, which is kind of weird. Second strong attack is definitely going to be a ranged collision attack. 40% magnifications on a second strong attack is horrible. It's abysmal. This character is, in my opinion, pretty damn mid if you'd ask me. He does have Captain Killer, which could be useful in some Senkaiman stages, because he also is a no affiliation character, but besides that, I'd say that it's not worth going for him until he gets a resurrection with Frenzy. Or Flurry. I don't see him doing flurry, but hey, it is what it is. Alright, going into the next character, Kisuke. I also believe that he needs a resurrection in order to bring him back to the spotlight. He has a lot of slow moving attacks, which really does hold him back. He has a revive mechanic on his ultimate, which I do think that actually is pretty nice. Let me zoom out a little. He does have a revive mechanic on his ultimate, which could be nice. Strong attack recharge as his link, hollow killer, devastation 40%. He does have frenzy, poison immunity, as well as long reach plus 20% and sprinter plus 1. Honestly, I feel like this is one of those characters that definitely needs Havoc 20% and Berserker 20% in order to bring him back to being meta. Like, going into his actual kit, he has a range collision split 3-way for strong attack, same thing as Orihime. However, I do feel like something like this needs guard break in order to actually be really, like, I feel like it needs guard break to be good. Characters like Unohana Retsu Machine Society version. I feel like she does very, very well thanks to the guard break. Going into the second strong attack, 575 AoE, very, very poor. It also comes out really, really slowly, kind of like DR Shinji's first strong attack, which is really unfortunate. And then his standard full screen third strong attack definitely is nice, but like with the mid first strong attack and mid second strong attack, it really does hold him back, and that's why I say I feel like he needs Berserker 20%, Havoc 20% in order to bring him back. If they gave him guard break, I think that would actually be really, really good for him. They could just replace like Bruiser 20% completely. You don't want to use him as a NAD character at all, and even though he has the revive mechanic like built into his special, I don't really see that adding that much value in comparison to like some of the other characters that are just so nasty. Did Nemu get revive on her ultimate too? No. Okay, she didn't. I was about to say. I'm like trying to compare with other tech characters. Going into Yoruichi, I do think that she's probably the character that lived the furthest in terms of she's still meta, or at least I like to think that she's actually still good to this day. Even though she does have a strong attack damage 20% as her link, she has a transformation mechanic that resets all of her cooldowns, so it's not even that big a deal. She has Frenzy, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Paralysis on everything, Long Reach plus 20%, that actually helps with her NAD, which is kind of funny. Sprinter plus 1, Frenzy, Devastation 40. She does have a Hollow Killer, and on top of that, obviously she's a Yoruichi, so she has 4 Flash Steps. When she actually transforms into her cat-like state, I don't think that they have it here, unfortunately. Yeah, when she transforms into her transformed state, she actually does have the same normal attack damage string as Can't Fear Your Own World Round 1 Meliel, where she can actually like zoom across the battlefield as if she has Sprinter, except it's her excuse me, her normal attack damage string gets turned into pretty much a flash step that with a NAD string built into it, which does have paralysis. Her special also grants her a walking vortex, which does paralyze the enemy on the spot, which is also really, really good. She deals a lot of damage, and with her reset cooldowns, whenever she transforms and transforms back, she'll reset all her cooldowns over and over again. I do feel like this character definitely lived up. If they give her strong attack recharge and like Havoc 20%, like strong attack recharge for her link and like Havoc 20%, I think that this character will definitely be top tier again. We'll see if Caleb ever actually does that though for a character. I feel like the only characters that right now were really revitalized and actually meta are probably like Christmas Veruca, second anniversary Ichigo, Fullbring Ichigo, Ginjo. I mean, there's a lot of characters that have been coming back, so I mean that's good to see. That's good to see. Hopefully Caleb keeps that up. Obviously that's like a handful in like a bucket, a handful from like a bucket of crap, but I mean it is what it is. And last but not least, another character that definitely still in my opinion is pretty meta, but definitely has fallen off in comparison to the crazy shit that we get nowadays. True Bankai Ichigo, strong attack recharge minus 12%, Soul Reaper with Soul Reaper Killer. He doesn't have a Berserker, he doesn't have a Havoc, and I feel like that would definitely bring him back. Devastation 40%, Enhancer plus 10 seconds for his boost, which also transforms him. Gives him 20% magnifications to his strong attacks. Same with Yoruichi and Yhwach, by the way. Whenever they have their transform state on, they actually deal more damage with their strong attacks, so that's definitely very good. However, since Ichigo's is on his boost, it doesn't actually reset his cooldown, so that definitely could be hit or miss. Paralysis and weaken immunity, as well as Sprinter plus 1 and Frenzy. Nowadays characters are starting to get innate skills with these types of immunities, so it's a damn shame that this character is flooded with immunities when now they can be put as innate skills. We'll see what Caleb wants to do with this character, should they actually go about resurrecting the old 1000 Year Blood War characters. Going into the new banner, and I do think that this banner is actually pretty good. The characters of Izuru, Chojiro, as well as of course Yamamoto. I do feel like Izuru gets held back because he is a ranged NAD based character, weaken on everything. Last Ditch 100% as his skill, damage reduction 20% as his actual soul trait. He does have a Hollow Killer, but he doesn't have guard break, which there's a lot of melee guard, there's a lot of range guard hollows, which could definitely hold him back. Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Flurry, Poise, Sprinter plus 1. He's actually pretty good in PvP, I'll give him that. He does have the range collision NAD string that Tokinata, Kisuke, and Ginjo have, so that's pretty good. But like I said, without guard break, I do feel like that's definitely going to hold him back, since he is a NAD based character. Your strong attacks aren't going to come back nearly as much. Going into Chojiro, he does have a captain killer, but don't let that fool you. I think that that actually is not necessarily a bad thing. He was given strong attack recharge minus 12%, and to make up for the captain killer, he was given berserker 20%, havoc 20%, frenzy, paralysis on all of his attacks, as well as damage to paralyzed enemies plus 20%, devastation 40%, debilitator plus 5 seconds. The fact that he has like one of the best kits in the entire game, with the 3000 length beam, 1200 full screen third strong attack, as well as a 960 circular AoE in front. This is definitely, in my opinion, one of my favorite kits in the game, because it's just so strong, and the fact that he can paralyze enemies just makes it that much nicer that he gets the plus 20% damage. Now this is a multiplier, not a additive damage to his damage, if that makes sense. So instead of dealing like 100% damage to 120 thanks to the berserker 20%, the damage to paralyzed enemies gets multiplied in, so he'll be dealing 144 damage instead of the 140. It's not additive, it's multiplicative, which is really good. His special move also grants him that vortex that Yoruichi has, so he will have a walking vortex around himself as he does his ultimate, which could be very, very, very good, especially for content like guild quests or just boss stages, etc. Last but not least, Yamamoto. Yamamoto, in my opinion, definitely is one of the best characters in the game. Unfortunately, he was given a no affiliation killer, which, like I said, I don't think that killer matters too much. However, I do feel like when you're comparing him to other characters, nowadays I do feel like Nemu definitely takes the cake. Like, this Nemu, in my opinion, is probably the best tech character in the game. She has a good killer, she has a good kit, etc. Going into this Yamamoto, going into his actual kit, we do have a standard lunge, so 570 because he was given havoc 20%. He was given another lunge with 870 radius, which is really good because this is pretty much just 2 lunges, so he makes very, very good use of being a melee character. And then 1200 radius, full screen third strong attack. He's so good. Like, I do think that 2 lunges might be a little much for some people, but like for a melee character, if you're trying to nab the character is down if they don't die in one hit, having 2 lunges is actually pretty good and definitely makes clearing content a bit quicker, especially for this character who doesn't have Sprinter plus 2. He has Berserker 20%, Havoc 20%, damage to burning enemies plus 20%, which we'll get into his emulator skill in a little bit, Bruiser 20%, Debilitator plus 2 seconds, Devastation 40%, and Frenzy. Now going into this damage to burning enemies, he was also given a emulator skill, which is right here. He's immune to fire, reads no affiliation dodges, so he's the ideal unit for tech Transcendence Zone. Now emulator, what this is it is a map wide AoE pulse that he deals every, I think, 5 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but every 5 seconds he sends out a pulse with a certain percentage chance to actually proc burn on an enemy. I'm pretty sure it's every 5 seconds. There's a 12% chance that he will proc burn on those units. So literally, even if you don't move, those enemies will die or go down to 1 HP in time. If you just sit there and just wait, the enemies will just naturally die. And what's cool is, even if this does proc the burn on the enemies, it's not completely wasted because you get the damage to burning enemies plus 20%. So sure, he might, like, say with one of the bigger enemies he doesn't one-shot. Now he has the potential to potentially one-shot because he gets an extra 20% damage on top of his main damage, which is really, 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 really good. It is a bit gimmicky, I'll give you that. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, it's not game-changing. It's not really game-changing too much, but it definitely is nice to have when it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, wow, I dealt X amount of damage this time just because he existed. That's pretty damn good. But I mean, that's overall my thoughts on this banner. I do think that this banner is pretty good. There are only, let me see, there should be 9 characters on this banner, and we're also getting Senkaimon too. So we have the Yamamoto, Chojiro, Izuru, and then we have the round 4 banner with Yhwach, Kisuke, Yoruichi, and true Bankai Ichigo, and then Ulquiorra and Kenpachi. If you're missing any of these characters, this is probably going to be your best opportunity to get them, especially the round 4 characters that don't come back very often. Like I said, I don't think that the round 4 characters are very crazy in this day and age in this new meta, except for maybe Yoruichi if you transcend her a bit. But I do like the main banner of Chojiro, Izuru, and Genryusai. I do think that the best characters here are probably going to be Yoruichi, Chojiro, and Yamamoto, with Izuru being a close 4th. But since he doesn't have guard break, I feel like that does hold him back. Very, very good in epic raids, very, very good in PvP if you need to use him in PvP, but that's overall my thoughts in terms of this banner. Let me know in the comments below how deep y'all plan to go. And yeah, with that being said, I guess I'll leave it at that. You guys, I'll catch up with you. Stay blessed. I'll say best luck in some, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.